Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
Every single fiber in a piece of tapestry plays a vital role in its final design. This is true for our guest tonight on Road to Success. A woman whose success is a masterpiece, woven by strengths of support from family and friends. Located on the Muthangari Road in Lavington, Ologi is indeed an African treasure. This is Road to Success. Thank you for joining us on Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our guest is Helen Kwabena of Ologi, who believes that the African diverse culture can unite us. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, and thank you for having me in your show.
Why do you believe that African cultures really can unite us? Why are you so passionate about that?
I believe that through exchange of cultures in various ways, can really unite us as Africans.
And that is what you've done with Ologi.
Yes.
Tell us about Ologi.
Ologi started about a year ago as a structured business, but Ologi has always existed from the time I grew up to date. Ologi has been largely an inspiration from my late mother, but I think for me, really, that was the starting point.
Tell us, what does Ologi first of all mean?
It comes from my late great-grandmother. I was named after her mother. And Ologi has a history to it. Ologi is supposed to be a foster daughter of the legend Gor Mahia. Anytime I visited my maternal side of the family, I was always called Ologi Nyargor.
We're sitting in one of your many stores. Tell us what Ologi does.
Ologi is a business venture started primarily to promote authentically made in Africa products. And we are into fashion and African accessories. We are also into ethnic furniture. We are also now moving into having natural body products. And we also love to do events that have African themes. And we also do consultancies on the side.
You stock a lot of West African clothing. Where did that idea come from?
My mother was my inspiration. She wore West African clothing. I don't know where she sourced them from. And I also wore West African clothing. And so when I moved to Ghana, then this passion that came to me as an inspiration from my mother developed further because I had that opportunity to realize my passion, my dream.
When it was ignited, you brought it back to Kenya. How did that journey begin?
I started by sending clothes, fabrics back to my mother and my siblings, which they sold to supplement my mother's salary to be able to pay school fees for some of my siblings and to also help them with the general upkeep at home.
How did your siblings get the market?
It was a word of mouth, and I really believe in a word of mouth. It was through friends, it was through family, it was through strangers, or just from what they wore. Someone saw and liked it and said, oh, we have them for sale somewhere.
As they were benefiting, Were you also benefiting in terms, was there any money coming to you so that you can buy more?
I agreed with my mother that give me back, this is what I spent on it. Give me back that money and then I'll bring more. Whatever you get out of it, please do A, B, C, D.
Your fashion is not primarily from Ghana. It's from other African countries. Tell us about that.
It's not about just one country in Africa. It's about Africa as a whole. So anywhere I find myself, I pick a fashion from there, mostly their traditional clothing, either for myself or to go back and sell wherever I am.
So for you, Africa, it shouldn't just be buy Kenyan products for Kenya.
No.
It should be buy African products for Africa.
Exactly.
Really.
Exactly.
Let's diversify,
Yes.
not just remain local.
Exactly.
I do want to talk about other items that you do stock at Ologi, but we'll do this after this break. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Do not go away. Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our guest is Helen Kwabena of Ologi. Besides the fashion, what other things do you stock at Ologi?
As we grew up, it was not just about fashion. It was about artifacts. So she decorated her house, you know, with our local artifacts, the calabashes, our baskets, you know, and like I said earlier, her kissy soapstones and all that. So that also inspired me to also be involved in the artifacts business.
And how do Kenyans embrace these different artifacts?
In Africa, we still have a challenge of our artifacts being associated with a lot of superstitions. But you have quite a number of Kenyans and quite a number of other Africans who appreciate African art.
Do the artifacts really complement the Kenyan way of life? Like if I was to have like the Ghanaian artifacts that I see, and then I put something, a Maasai candlestick, for example, candle holder, for example, how do you feel like it can complement?
Every African art for me complements the other. It's just that I think as Kenyans we should try and use more of our artifacts or any other African artifacts to complement the Western decor that we have in our homes, for instance.
For like your home, for example, it's a combination of both. It really is a combination of Africa.
Yes, my home is a combination of Africa and the Western culture, but Africa dominates.
Yeah.
Because I am an African.
The advantages that you have is you're not just doing Kenyan, you're doing Africa. Most of us just stick with our own country. But you want to bring Africa to us and take us to Africa. This is what you're doing.
Exactly. We still have people like myself or other traders bringing other African countries to our doorstep.
What sets you apart?
We still have some artifacts that are similar to other stores, but we also carry out artifacts that are not very common, like the garden tools, for instance.
Other items that you do stock are also this beautiful jewelry that I'm wearing.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it made out of, for example?
Those are recycled glass. So they make beads out of them and make beautiful jewelry like the one you're wearing. Jewelry is another thing. Accessories, not just jewelry, other accessories. We've got amazing and enormous accessories from this continent.
What has the journey been like?
It's been a long journey. I've talked about how it started. It was not easy sending clothes over.
Yeah.
You have to pay taxes, they have to do clearing. It's a whole hassle.
Yeah.
Then you bring it and there you are. People want everything, but the ability to pay is a problem.
Okay.
So credit facility, sometimes you give, you never get your money back. So these are some of the challenges. The other disadvantage or a challenge is that people think that you have succeeded, but you know you have not succeeded. You must restock. You have to pay your assistants. You have to pay your workers. You have to pay your rent on time.
Utilities.
The overheads are just amazing. In fact, before you even know whether you're realizing profits, there's a lot to contend with because you have to brand, rebrand, and so funding is also another challenge.
How do you fund this?
Just from my savings and that of my family because they support a lot. Yeah, it's just from savings. Now the other challenge is competition. Ever since I opened this store, I know there are quite a number, but I always see them as positive.
Where is the future of Ologi?
We have just begun, really. For us, we see this as the first footsteps we are making, like a baby. We want to do more things. We want to have bigger stores, not just even in Africa, outside Africa. But I am, for the moment, focusing in Africa because we still don't have enough of this in Africa. So 5 years from now, we want to be present in other African countries. We also want to do charity, through non-governmental work to inspire the youth. We also want to introduce other natural body products. Apart from that, we will also have any other natural oils and soaps that are produced in Africa.
Thank you so much, Helen, for your story. You truly are the ambassador for Africa. I can see the passion for Africa, and you have inspired a lot of us to not just do Kenya, but to do the rest of Africa. Whether we're wearing it or having them in our house, we should be proud of Africa. Thank you for your story.
Thank you.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Do not go away.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening